What is an adventure? It's the thrill of discovery, experiencing new things and being free to explore the world. What's in this cave? What's over that hill? That kind of thing. So many games struggle with this balance because they create these huge epic worlds but fill them with arbitrary roadblocks. They confuse pacing with just making the player wait. Enter Ocarina of Time! Everyone calls it the greatest game ever, a masterpiece. But have you played it recently? Because playing Ocarina of Time today is an exercise in loving something despite itself. It's got horrible controls, a ton of quirks, and a world designed to make you wait. And so the fans love it despite that.
This is one of my favourite games of all time.
Is it really?
Absolutely.
That's shocking.
You are, and I understand that.
We'll be dissecting that critically today, but look, before you get your Master Swords in a twist, I'm not just here to rip on it for the next 25 minutes, because I really do want to know if all of the love is warranted. Is this one of the best games ever made, or are we all blinded by our nostalgia? This is my first time ever playing Ocarina of Time, so I've got no childhood memories to protect here. Right, so let's go back to the start of the game. You're Link, who lives in a forest and you're tasked by a giant talking tree with saving the kingdom of Hyrule. Yeah, destiny, blah blah, Deku Tree's got the shit, whatever. The cutscene ends, and this is where the trouble begins. Let's get down to basics. The simple action of moving from point A to point B is the single most fundamental interaction in a 3D game, and usually the first thing you learn. It's how you fight, how you explore, how you play. But every movement has this weight to it, this delay. Like Ocarina's constantly asking, are you sure you want to do that? Think about it. Have a nap first.
No, would you call that blonde or would you call that ginger?
I would call it
yellow.
that this is very laggy. If the controls are like this all the way through, I'm going to have some problems.
Yes, we should forgive old games for hardware limitations and constraints of the medium, I get that. I know that this is right at the start of 3D gaming, and devs were still figuring shit out. That's fine. But Ocarina of Time is actually a regression, because look, are you telling me that this is the same company that made Mario 64? 2 years earlier! You're telling me that they went from that dynamic, expressive, joyful movement to this? Your main method of interacting with the world is a brisk walk. That's the medium they chose, and we're stuck with it. And Ocarina of Time is a full-on adventure game, so you need to see the world you're adventuring in, right? Fuck you. You get a camera that moves in these nauseating 90-degree chunks, and you can't look up. Why? Did they run out of up? Was there a global up shortage in 1998? You're in a game full of flying enemies. Flying! And you have to fight them with the camera locked on the horizon. Look, I'm a simple man. I see a bat, I want to hit the bat. I don't want to get a degree in echolocation just to know where the fucking thing is. Fuck off!
Ow!
The camera's dumb. It's like designing a car with no rear view mirrors and then filling the world with things that only attack from behind. A public service announcement from the Hyrule Board of Heroic Compliance. The chasm before you is a designated automated jump zone. Please proceed in an orderly forward-moving fashion to have a game-sanctioned leap administered for you. He's right. Ocarina of Time didn't let you jump, and instead, it did it for you. I don't know any other games at the time where jumping across platforms wasn't done with a button.
Oh look, it's made me jump off. I didn't just fucking fall off, I jumped off. I didn't press anything though.
It's a huge part of the way a game can implement combat mechanics. Having a jump button could have opened up so many new ways to approach enemies. Oh, but in this game, Link only jumps when the code says he can. But hey, there's Z targeting. Z targeting? On paper, it's genius. Before this, hitting anything in a 3D space was like trying to swat a fly with a pool noodle. Z targeting is the solution to 3D combat. Lock on, circle strafe, attack. It laid the foundation for every single 3D action game that came after it. But try fucking using it! Z targeting was designed to target everything except the thing you want to hit. And remember those flying enemies I mentioned earlier? Ocarina sure loves those. These flying bats, or keys, come swarming in from every direction, and you can't track them because they flit about aimlessly like a moth. Z targeting doesn't seem to work until they're aggroed, and by the time you hear the audio cue, it's too fucking late! All of this in a game you can't look up in. You're just supposed to hear when they're close.
That's the beauty of it. You have to listen for the cues. It's immersive.
Immersive? Is being locked in a room with angry hornets you can't see immersive? Because here I'm not adventuring, I'm just stressed. All they do is constantly chip away at your health and kill you every 3 minutes.
This is fun.
I'm dead.
I wouldn't give any of them a single kiss on the lips. You know, like a kiss. And all of this fumbling with the targeting wouldn't be so annoying if the world was visually coherent with how it's laid out. I know graphics don't make the game, but let's be honest, some parts of Ocarina look straight up ugly.
Before its time.
Shut up. Yeah, whatever. For its time. Victorians used to add chalk to bread and drink arsenic when they felt ill. You want to do that? You want to eat chalk? You want to talk for its time? Metal Gear Solid came out the same year as Ocarina, and Kojima was there painting amazing composition with light, creating atmosphere and drawing your eye. Each set piece looks like a genuine piece of art. You're telling me the best Nintendo could do was this? Everything looks green and brown. The world just feels a bit lifeless and unexciting, and you just kind of accept it. You think, okay, this is the game, a bit goofy, a bit empty. You're numb to it, and that's exactly what the game wants, because the second you get comfortable, you pull the Master Sword, which sends you 7 years into the future, become adult Link with a stupid nose and step outside. And the game finally uses that established normal to absolutely punch you in your asshole. The once happy, bustling Hyrule castle town you've been familiar with for the whole game so far is now a desolate, zombie-infested hellscape. The sky is dark, re-deads walk around screaming, and everything you remembered is gone. Holy fuck. This is awesome. This is where Ocarina first made me feel like I was adventuring. All you knew before this was the goofy and happy overworld. For hours, the game's been putting you here and showing you the lively characters in their bright little village enjoying life. But now your journey has new context, new stakes, and now it starts to feel real. Now, this is one of the reasons why people love this game. Like, imagine seeing this in '98 and how your kid brain will react to this. You see it and you feel ready for a true adventure. And what's the heart of any great Zelda adventure? The puzzles. As the 10-hour playtime mark passed, the peace and serenity of this beautiful Hyrulean forest was shattered by the bellow of a wild animal. How the fuck was I meant to figure that out? Look at this. You get to this waterfall and you need to get behind it. There's nothing really around, so what do? Maybe there's a switch, or bomb the wall, or is there an eyeball you can slingshot? Of course not, you stupid bitch. Because the solution here is pulling out your ocarina, standing on this specific little symbol, and playing Zelda's Lullaby, a song whose only established purpose thus far is to prove that you have a connection to the royal family. Of course it works on some random waterfall. Of course it does. Drives me insane. Games should have an inherent intuitiveness about them. The last thing a player should have to do is run around asking what they need to do next.
Did he not see him just throw that? You saw him throw that, he didn't throw it!
Talk to everyone, check every pixel, play every song you know in front of every random rock. What possible thing do I need to do now? A good puzzle respects you. It says here are the rules, here's the goal, and here are the tools to figure it out. But most of the tasks in Ocarina aren't even puzzles. It just goes, guess what I'm thinking? I bet you never guess.
That was the magic of the playground. You'd go to school the next day and everyone would be talking about it. Did you figure out how to get into Jabu-Jabu's belly? You have to use a fish.
That sounds pretty cool, actually. I even remember doing that once for the Robot Wars PS2 game and still remember the cheat code to this day. But right now, that's not a feature. I don't have a 1998 playground to consult. And because of this, when you do figure out some bullshit puzzle, it isn't a celebration. It's you screaming, oh for fuck, that's what it wanted! And all of the... Sorry, 1 second. Hello? No, Bill, I'm not done with the analysis. Yes, I'll talk about the water temple. Yes. Okay, bye. If only there was some kind of hint the game could give you. Of course, I have to mention Navi. How can I not? But what can I say that hasn't been said for the last 25...
Hey, listen!
Fuck off, you incandescent prick! She's the game's biggest weak point. Miyamoto admitted it, let's move on. After a while, you start to notice a pattern. The Zelda formula, the Zeldular, whatever. And at first you're like, okay, cool, I get the loop, but then it keeps going. And you start to realize you're not on an adventure, you're doing contract work. Go here, collect this thing, give it to this guy. He tells you, oh, in this next town there is thing, and repeat. Look, I get it. That's what these games are, and it's typical to progress in this way. But in Ocarina of Time, for a brain that wants dopamine and clear objectives, this formula often felt less like an epic adventure and more like chores. I don't like chores. Nobody does.
Dad, go take your washing downstairs!
Oh, but I just want to have fun! A game where I'm supposed to be adventuring suddenly has me waiting for this chest to open, for day to become night, for this platform to finish crossing, for this big-titted fairy to finish her seizure, and then they just rub it in your face with this... Oh look, another arbitrary roadblock that only waiting can solve. The DNA of this game wasting your time is everywhere. It's even in the unskippable monologues from that bastard owl who holds you captive before asking if you want to hear it all again. The game isn't hard, but it is long as hell. And nowhere is this philosophy of making the player wait for no fucking reason more apparent than in the Biggoron sword fetch quest. My co-host Bill insisted that I do this quest. It's important, he said. You get the best sword in the game. So how bad could it be? We will now pause for a 2-minute interval. It is recommended that you use this time to make popcorn. The timer will begin now. Go on. Shoo. This quest all starts when you're walking around the village of Kakariko and you talk to the Kaku lady and she slaps a pocket egg into your dick. Wait for a day and then hatch it into Kohiro, a blue chicken that's depressed. Show Kohiro to some random dude in the Lost Woods who gives you an odd mushroom that spoils in 3 minutes. Rush back to the old hag in Kakariko who gives you an odd potion. Take that back to the Lost Woods, but oh, dude's gone. Now it's Kokiri girl who takes your potion and gives you a poacher's saw. Take the sword to the carpenter in Gerudo Valley who gives you a broken Goron sword. Take that to Biggoron on Death Mountain who's got sore eyes because the volcano's gone off or whatever and gives you a prescription. Take that to King Zora who gives you an eyeball frog that spoils in 3 minutes. Run the frog over to Lakeside Laboratory where a mad scientist makes eye drops that spoil in 4 minutes. You run, you ride like the wind, you climb a volcano, finally you present the drops, and what after all of this is your reward? A claim check! Apparently it takes a few days to make it, so does the game pass time so you can get the sword? What are you, an idiot? No! You have to wait 3 more in-game days! What am I, a Hylian delivery driver? And what was the one constant during that entire delivery nightmare? Running! Back and forth across the biggest waiting room in video game history. I'd ride Epona from one end to the other of this massive green expanse between objectives, and sure, it was kind of majestic, but it was also completely empty.
It's not empty, it's atmospheric. The long journeys represent the scale of Link's journey where you have time for contemplation.
I'm contemplating how much I'd pay for an Uber. Look, I know my statement is reductive. Also, this annoying little shit has a point. In 1998, that emptiness was the atmosphere, because a long, boring ride made arriving in Kakariko Village feel like you've actually traveled. The boredom is part of the texture here. I still think it's objectively bad design when you look at it today, but I'm sure it was fundamental to the feeling the game was trying to create. So Hyrule Field is the game's central hub connecting all the different areas. Like I said, crossing it takes forever, but it means the little mistakes that you make just prolong the time you spend zipping backwards and forwards to different areas. Did you talk to the right Goron? Is it day or night? Do you need to be adult Link or child Link for this specific NPC to give a fuck about your existence?
How do I...
Don't get me wrong, I don't just hate the entire game due to asinine reasons, because I know that Nintendo understands how to make an immersive, straightforward dungeon. The Ice Cavern has great puzzles and straightforward intuitive onward paths, and the Fire Temple is cool as shit.
Oh, them boys like, oh no, it's the bane of my fucking life.
It's actually my favorite dungeon in the game. So let me explain why I love the Fire Temple. It's because here, the game follows 3 simple rules of good design. Rule number 1, the objective is clear as day. You see these sad rock bros in prison cells? Well, your job is to get them out. It's really simple. There's no cryptic nonsense to figure out. Find a key, free another Goron. Each release tells you that you're doing the right thing and going in the right direction, so you don't feel like you're stuck. That's the dopamine right there. Rule number 2, make the new toy feel awesome. Halfway through, you get the Megaton Hammer, and it absolutely fucks. For the first half of the dungeon, the game is teasing you, preloading your brain with problems that you can't solve yet. Oh, a rusty switch. Nothing happens when I hit it with my sword. But what if, rule number 3, the whole rest of the dungeon finally clicks into place, so you realize that you can now activate the rusty switch, break pillars and smash through the floor, and now you can progress when you couldn't before. It's intuitive, it's satisfying, it's genuinely great design.
Anyway, when in doubt, play the ocarina.
It's where Ocarina really respects your ability to figure things out, but still doesn't hold your hand. And this troubles me so because you can see they proved they knew how to do it. It fucking pisses me off so much! You can see that Shigeru knew that he and his team could make something this good, so why didn't they do it for the whole game? Because they had the ability. It's the best dungeon in the entire game! If the Fire Temple is a masterclass in teaching you the rules, then Jabu-Jabu's belly is a masterclass in having the teacher not show up at all. Okay, the game actually does teach you some rules before you get here. Rule number 1, you can push blocks. Okay, got it. Then rule number 2, slingshots hit eye switches. Bit weird, but okay, cool, got it. But then you get here, and the game expects you to action rule number 3, which is that crates can be carried and placed on floor switches. But Ocarina never fucking tells you can do this! It actually does the opposite, spending hours teaching you that crates are just useless scenery. See, as a player, we understand that the switch needs weight. The game teaches you that. It gives you Princess Ruto, a bitchy fish girl who can activate floor switches, and then expects you to figure out that the random background object that you've been conditioned to ignore is the key to progressing. Well, guess what? She's not a box, and this isn't a puzzle.
Actually, the game's not teaching you what to do is a core part of the discovery. It respects the player's intelligence. You're meant to keep trying things until you get it right.
Yeah, thanks. I'll remember that next time I teach someone how to fly a plane. And oh boy, let me tell you about the water temple. Are you ready for the water temple? Something's telling me you're not ready for the water temple. The whole mechanic is that you've got these iron boots. You put them on, you sink. You take them off, you float. Simple. So you think there'd be like one button to do that, you know? Because you're doing it every 5 seconds. Here's the gameplay loop of the water temple. Pause, equipment screen, scroll, select iron boots, exit menu, walk 3 steps underwater, pause, equipment screen, unequip iron boots, exit menu, repeat, forever. Wow! This seems like such a better way to do it! Thank you so much! Thank you, Nintendo! Thank you! Who playtested this and thought it was fine? There are 3 unemployed C buttons just sat there on government benefits doing sweet FA. We could have given them jobs! Could have had a C button toggle to put the boots on and off. But no. I want to meet whoever okayed this. I want to shake their hand and then sweep their fucking leg. The thing is, the water temple isn't even hard. It's tedious, and that's just it. A difficulty curve implies a skill challenge you can get better at. When it's just annoying and frustrating no matter how good you are because the design itself is inherently flawed or time-consuming, you stop enjoying the journey.
Get some glutes done.
Ocarina, we need to talk. This Zelda formula you made often feels like a series of roadblocks. You just want me to wander around for 3 hours and bomb every tile of the floor until I find a secret. When I finish a task, I'm like, great, now where the fuck do I go? Hey, Nintendo, did you also forget to write personalities for your main characters? Zelda as a character is irritating, and that continued into the newer games where she sounds like a Victorian housemaid. Ooh, Link, we have to get the Zonai! Just get a British voice actress if you want a British accent. And Link has the narrative agency of a Roomba. Is this what you were going for, Shigeru? A hero who gets activated, bumps into a character who gives him a new destination, and then travels in a straight line until he bumps into the next one?
Huh? Where do I go now?
The story happens to him, not because of him. This game should have been called The Errands of Link, the Sentient Appliance. This owl can fuck off. And what the hell is this? Fire keys? Normal bats weren't annoying enough and now they set me on fire! Rupees are so plentiful that they're meaningless, and when you die, the game teleports you back to the start of the level, so you'd have to waste another 17 minutes trying to get back to a place that you know you can get to because you've just been there! God! This game drives me up the fucking wall! Okay. I've shat on this game for ages, and I meant every single word. So that raises another question. Why am I not turning this off? After all we've been through, why am I kinda happy to just keep playing? By all accounts, I should have turned off the N64 when I saw the talking tree. Well, let's start with the music. See, Ocarina of Time has a soundtrack that brings me so much joy. Koji Kondo, you found my weakness.
The music in Ocarina is its soul. Koji Kondo is a genius. He captured the sound of the adventure itself.
You know what? I'm not even going to argue with you on that one, my guy. But how did you get into my house? From the playful innocence of Kokiri Forest, to the forest temple with creepy chanting, to the absolute banger that is Gerudo Valley. You just know my guy Koji was sat there in the studio after that one all like, yep, It's a certified hood classic. Waking up to the Gerudo Valley theme tune after being massacred by a pack of bats is like being given a back massage after being shot in the head. Kondo himself said he wanted the music to enhance the atmosphere and make the player feel like Link. And my god did he succeed. The music is so deeply woven into the gameplay. You play the ocarina almost like a multi-tool to change time, summon storms, and warp across the land. It's interactive storytelling through music that you as a player perform. You're probably now getting ready for me to scream about the ocarina mechanic and how it's annoying to constantly stop, check the menu for the combination, then memorize it, then get the ocarina out, then make the sun go down or call opponent. You're just waiting for me to tear into it as another time-wasting gimmick designed to pan out the adventure.
So, right A up.
Yeah. And again.
Right A up. Right A.
Maybe look it up.
But you're wrong. Because I think it's brilliant. I genuinely think that the ocarina mechanic is one of the most immersive things in the entire game. It connects you to the actions. They're magic tricks that you can memorize. Epona doesn't just spawn in, you send her song across the fields, and she'll come running. And you know when a noise just itches your little brain? Ocarina loves conditioning you with these little jingles to signify things, and they're just dopamine hits baked right into the game.
You found the Ocarina of Time!
The secret found jingle is one of the most powerful sounds in gaming history, because it's not just an audio cue, it's the game telling you that you're clever. And for a game that can be so obtuse at times, that little bit of validation feels incredible. Even healing, or the sound of those collectible gold Skulltula spiders just skittering around.
Oh, you can maybe grapple it.
Sorry, was that not water? Did you think that was water? Yeah. What the fuck are they playing at?
The N64 was the source of so many iconic sounds in gaming, but I've never owned one. I never even played Ocarina of Time. My childhood was the SNES and the PS1. So why does this game now give me nostalgia? I think it's partly because even if it wasn't my childhood, it was the childhood for millions of gamers. Its music, its characters, they're all so famous that everyone knows what this game is, and the music and sound effects trigger a memory you don't actually have. And maybe it's also nostalgia for an era of gaming. That early leap into 3D, when developers were throwing everything at the wall to see what stuck. I remember that sense of wonder for the exponential innovation of video game technology. Look, I know you're an intelligent person because you just sat and listened to my thoughtful and considered ranting about this game, and you understand the contradictory position we've arrived at. It's built on the price of being first, the pioneer tax. But anything that's first, even the smartphone you're probably watching this on, went through innovation. First gen of anything sucks by today's standards. Just look at the original iPhone. It was revolutionary and shaped much of what we know a phone to be in the modern era. But I wouldn't want to use that phone today, and you, the viewer, don't need me to spell out why. And that's the paradox. The very things I hated are what makes it a legend. It captures that sense of adventure and discovery that Miyamoto was always aiming for, inspired by his own childhood experiences of exploring caves.
I wonder if he had to constantly switch boots while he was exploring.
Can you actually just get out?
Oh, okay.
I'm just confused, man. I don't even know how to describe it. It just baffles me, knowing that this game was played by thousands upon thousands of kids when they opened it on Christmas Day, and they never needed walkthroughs. Even Bill said that he never needed one.
Dan, it's because you're shit at the game.
Shut up, Bill. What secret language were you speaking to 10-year-olds in 1998 that you refuse to speak to me now, Ocarina? I'm an adult with a fully developed brain, yet this game stumps me at every possible turn.
No, you don't. Huh? You don't need to do that.
It's like it speaks a language my brain wasn't built for. And it turns out, the secret language was boredom. Think about it. If you were a kid in the 90s, and if you're watching this you probably were, your options were go outside or try literally everything in this dungeon. As adults, we're conditioned to look for linear, logical progression when problem solving. A leads to B leads to C, that kind of thing. But a kid is just happy to chuck shit at the wall until they figure out the solution. I have a fish in a bottle. That big lord Jabu-Jabu is also a fish. What if I present the fish to the other fish? And I know I've mentioned waiting more than once, because I saw it as duration padding for ages, like Ocarina was disrespecting my time. But it wasn't padding, it was pacing. Ocarina of Time was deliberately slow, and it forced you to exist in its world. That empty field didn't exist just to be empty. It helped build the world's atmosphere. That time for contemplation that nerd guy said earlier wasn't an excuse, it was the entire point. It was the quiet moment that gave the loud moments meaning.
That's right. That's what they were going for.
How did you get back in here?
You'll never catch me!
The world didn't revolve around you, and for 1998, that was revolutionary. Hyrule felt alive. The giant Goron blacksmith, Biggoron, needed time because forging a legendary sword should take time. The journey felt long because the quest was meant to be long. You weren't meant to play in this world, you were meant to live in it. God, I was missing the whole fucking point! So, after all that, do I still hate The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time? No. And that pisses me off, because I should hate it. I came into this with a huge list of legitimate, justifiable reasons to prove that this game was objectively terrible, but it just wouldn't let me. I could spend forever tearing it down, digging into the intricacies of the enemy coding, the diving system, the plot, the Deku nuts!
No, that didn't work.
But in the end, to be flawed is to be human.
He's feeling it. He's feeling the Zelda magic.
Get the fuck out!
Let's get one thing straight though. This isn't me giving you permission to slap the greatest game of all time label onto it. That would be like putting chocolate sauce on salmon. If Ocarina of Time were released today in its current form, it would get torn to shreds in the Steam reviews. But I get it now. This wasn't bad design. This was first design. Ocarina of Time is like the first fish that crawled out of the 2D ocean and flopped around gasping for air. It was a huge moment in evolution, but it was still really clumsy. But it got us here, into the era of modern gaming. What started as an annoying game that I truly thought was bad just for its shitty camera and puzzles, turned into a work of art that I truly respect. So what if it's not perfect? It was first. And maybe that's the only thing that really mattered.
Told you.
Hey, thanks for watching this long as fuck video. I want to know what you think. Is Ocarina a masterpiece, or is it just still like dumb? Yell at me in the comments. I can take it. I won't enjoy it. Also hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed this deep dive. WarpVibe is normally a Let's Play channel with my best mate Bill, so if you like hearing me get mad at video games, we've got thousands of hours of that for you. Oh, I have to go all the way back down?